So I think what's important is that farms are in the long term are sustainable. Improving biodiversity and projects like this with Landcare allow trees and natural habitat to expand, and ultimately makes the land more sustainable, and it works in with more productive agriculture at the end of the day.
Yeah, so it's a really important relationship because the Syngenta partnership helps us bring together farmers and community groups and bring it all together and basically deliver restoration projects which will benefit productivity as well as biodiversity.
I purchased this property about 6 years ago now. I bought it during winter when everything was lush and green, and then come summertime when you start to see everything die off and you see how much the land is struggling just from being cropped for so long, and there's just not much here. I knew that it was the right thing to do to try and seek some grants, get some support, and try and turn it back to native veg and restore the property if I could.
So in this particular case, we're buffering the Ferries McDonald Conservation Park, and then that actually links across the road to other habitat that links up with Monarto Conservation Park up to the north. I think it's critical because I think we've essentially overexposed our landscape by taking away too much of the vegetation. So a site like this, for instance, it's taking out a relatively low production part of the property, dry sandy rises, and creating a buffer for the paddocks in terms of shelter and beneficial insects and more birds and more fauna. And yeah, it's great that landholders like this are really keen to do something now, and that we're getting investment. They seem to be taking on the responsibility themselves in a big way, not waiting for the government to do something, but actually getting onto it themselves.
I've been very fortunate to have a great relationship with the Goole-Wellington Local Action Planning Group, and I guess it's through their initiative that they work with Landcare and Syngenta as well as part of this great partnership. And I think that's really the future of conservation, is private land stewardship and these partnerships between corporate, not-for-profits and just private landholders, really, to try and make a difference going forward.
We look at it, there's got to be a balance between farming and native vegetation and wildlife. We're very happy to see lots of native animals and birds and regeneration of existing scrub and what comes out of it.
Yeah, look, I think it's really critical time for corporates and communities to come together and basically look after our food bowls and productive landscapes and make sure we've got good climate adaptation mechanisms in place, so good native veg integrated into productive areas. And I think the Syngenta partnership has really enabled us to build that back into the landscape, and working with local communities like Goole and Wellington, it's just a great project.
Very proud to be working for a company that takes climate change and biodiversity and some of these sustainability issues seriously.